The morning usually begins not with a sudden sunrise, but with a sudden, jarring noise. You reach out from under the heavy blankets, slap the alarm clock, and immediately begin the familiar internal negotiation. Just 5 more minutes. I'm too tired today. I'll run tomorrow. This is exactly where our daily aspirations stall out. We are sold a persistent, exhausting myth. The idea that success and productivity require white-knuckling our way through life. We are told that if we just grip the steering wheel tighter and try a little harder, we can force our lives into the shape we desire. But relying on willpower alone is a fragile strategy. It treats effort as an infinite resource, ignoring the reality of how the brain actually manages energy. To see why, we have to look at the specific hardware in your brain responsible for complex decision-making and impulse control, the prefrontal cortex. Willpower operates like a biological muscle. It suffers from fatigue. This graph maps out your decision-making capacity over a single day. As you navigate morning traffic, answer emails, and make hundreds of micro-decisions, that capacity steadily drains. By the middle of the afternoon, the system is exhausted. You can no longer rely on it to make optimal choices, so your brain naturally defaults to its baseline programming. If we want to change the output of our lives, we have to move past active effort. We must redesign the underlying architecture so that our desired actions run on autopilot. When a behavior is brand new, your brain is highly active, analyzing every single variable. But as you repeat that behavior, the brain tries to save energy. The decision-making centers power down, and the process shifts into a state of extreme efficiency. Control is handed over to a primitive cluster of neurons near the brainstem called the basal ganglia. This is where your autopilot lives. Every habit is a 4-step loop. First, the cue, a trigger initiating the behavior. That points to the craving, the desire for a state change. Next is the response, the actual habit. Finally, the reward. This dopamine hit tells your brain to remember the sequence. Tech companies and marketers spend billions of dollars engineering this exact psychological loop to capture your attention and keep you scrolling. You can steal these blueprints back. You can use this 4-step architecture to construct routines that serve you rather than consume you. The greatest architects do not just design buildings, they design behavior. In the pursuit of better habits, we vastly overestimate the importance of internal motivation and underestimate the invisible force of physical friction. Imagine waking up with the intention to run. If your bedroom is freezing, your phone is on your nightstand, and your shoes are buried, the friction is immense. Your tired brain will predictably choose the easiest option, staying in bed. Now, picture a redesigned layout. Your phone charges in the kitchen, your running shoes and clothes are laid out beside the bed, and a glass of water is waiting on the dresser. The desired habit is now the path of absolute least resistance. Your failure to change is rarely about laziness. Success requires engineering your space so that good habits become the default, while bad habits require enough extra steps that you stop choosing them. Even with a perfect environment, the human brain naturally resists large, sudden expenditures of energy. Taking on a massive new routine, like writing a novel or overhauling your diet, is daunting. To bypass this psychological resistance, we use the 2-minute rule. A new habit must be shrunk to take less than 2 minutes. Read a book every week becomes read 1 single page. You are simply mastering the art of showing up, laying down the initial neural wiring. To trigger the new habit, we use habit stacking, attaching it directly to an action you already perform daily. The end of the old behavior acts as the cue. After I pour coffee, I write 1 sentence. You hijack existing infrastructure. Through these small initial connections, the physics of momentum takes over. What starts as a 2-minute action scales up until the entire routine executes automatically. When the autopilot is finally set, the daily psychological struggle evaporates. But the architecture of self-mastery is not actually about achieving specific physical or financial outputs. Ultimately, true behavior change is identity change. Every time you successfully execute a small habit, you reinforce a specific identity. Each repetition provides evidence for the type of person you wish to become. You don't read 1 page every night just to finish a book. You read to build the identity of a reader. The habit becomes an integral piece of your character. By deconstructing the mechanics of the mind, respecting the power of our physical environment, and starting small, we stop fighting against our own nature. We lay down the foundation, we build the blueprint, and ultimately, the blueprint builds us.